Good afternoon. This is Kevin McQueen, President of Focus Forward, and I'm here today to talk about the future of MLS with Greg Manship. Greg is the CEO of the Intermountain MLS in Boise, Idaho. Good afternoon, Greg.
Hi, Kevin. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thanks for joining us.
Good. Sure.
So I'm wondering, what's different today in the MLS business compared to 1 or 2 years ago?
Well, obviously, one right off the top of my head, Kevin, as we all have seen, is the big trend in data licensing opportunities for the MLS, whether it's been the RPR, Move.com, CoreLogic, and, I'm hearing, seeing more and more of those every day, even from, continuing on from other companies as well. I've also seen a big trend in mobile and a push for, mobile, everything going to mobile, whether it's the forms, when is the MLS system going to mobile. So mobile is a big hot button right now that I see a lot of difference between even, 1 year ago. And then just the partnerships with different ancillary services and third parties has continued to increase, and so that's given us a lot more things to review and do that. We've also seen, the push for the MLS system to do browser agnostic, so we can use it with any browsers. Macs have been pushing, and obviously the standards push, even in the last recent past here, has been going on. So a lot of changes in a relatively short period of time.
It's pretty amazing, the number of changes. It's also interesting to note how everybody seems to be interested in having access to the data, from the data licensing partners to brokers and agents and lots of people acknowledging that there's value in that.
Right, absolutely. Again, with all those things that are out there, that's keeping our schedules busy and makes us even want to keep on top of actually what's going on, at all levels.
And there's a lot. Thank you for that.
Yes.
So what are the biggest challenges you currently face in your business, and what keeps you up at night?
Well, just along those lines, Kevin, I think one of our challenges is just keeping up with all the technology that's out there. Through our MLS platforms, we talk to our MLS vendors to get things in, and then all of a sudden there's something else that we need to have, and so I think the MLS platforms is a struggle to keep those on top of technology and what's new and what's out there, via what we're seeing on the internet, and that is keeping those MLS systems viable and keeping those up to date. The other thing is just making sure that I know what's going on, and we try to go to these conferences, find out what's going on, go to the trade shows, read on technology. I just want to keep up, myself on what's going on both at a local, state, and national level, so that we, as an MLS, can best serve our participants and subscribers. Another challenges too is that we've got these great pieces of technologies in the MLS, whether it's the forms, tax tools, MLS systems, and that, and it's bringing those and all those pieces together and making them all talk and work together in sync. Even with the contacts, working along different the systems, the different ancillary services. Entering the contact once, entering the data once, and having it flow through. So there are a lot of pieces out there, and it's bringing all those pieces together is a big challenge right now as well.
It's a common theme that I'm hearing from talking to other leaders like you is, so keeping up with all this technology is hard. Trying to stay informed as you're doing is good. How do you keep the members? How do you communicate with the members about all these things that are going on?
Well, again, that's using what is available out there. We try to communicate as Intermountain MLS through a number of different means, and I see the most success is hitting them with the same thing in different mediums. And so, maybe we'll throw something out on social media. Obviously, I have a bulletin that goes out. We have the front page of the MLS system. We have a login message, and so hitting those different ways of communicating to the participants and subscribers. And again, sometimes you have to hit them multiple times on multiple mediums to get those things out there. But I think the more we can do that, the more we can bring some of what's going on just outside of our local area on the big picture, is a benefit to everybody involved. And I seem to get positive feedback on, I saw this on Facebook, or I saw your tweet to that, and I'm glad you're doing this. And so, again, it's embracing all the different communication mediums that are now available to us.
That's great. You're doing good work there. How are these challenges impacting you and your MLS business right now?
Well, a lot of time with decisions and reviewing and looking at what is out there. This is meaning more meetings, more committee groups, reviewing products, reviewing, requests for data licensing opportunities. And so, again, we're seeing just more time to look at these different opportunities that we have. Obviously, as the MLS, we're getting more requests for this stuff. We're getting more requests for partnerships, for revenue sharing opportunities, data licensing opportunities. And then, the challenge too is, the rules on how the data is used is not keeping up with the requests of how our agents, our subscribers, our vendors want to use the data. Mm-hmm. So we have to make a lot of from the hip decisions on, is this in the best interest of the broker or the agent, or is this in the flavor of IDX? Is this in the flavor of Val? And so, those are some of the things that, we have to make as, committees, as board of directors, and, as staff.
Are you finding it with all these distractions to some extent? Are you finding it harder to find time to keep up and make quick decisions?
Well, that's a great question. I think, it just makes us work more efficiently and see how we can divvy up the time better. We've obviously, as many MLSs, we have cut staff and things like that in the recent turn of events with the economy and such. But we have tried to find, the right balance of doing these things so that, we can go with our day-to-day duties, but then at the same time, we don't stall ourselves. So we're committed at every level, and I try to make sure that every part of our staff is committed as not only doing the current job, but also looking at how we can do that job better in all facets. Because I think, obviously we have the technology, but we have membership and everything like that. Mm-hmm. But yeah, there's a balance there, and it is a challenge. But it's something we have to do. We have to do that to stay on top of that and make sure that, again, we're servicing our participants and subscribers in an efficient and positive way.
Good for you. So let's look to the future. How will MLS be different in 2 or 3 years? In your mind, what does the future of MLS look like?
Well, obviously we are seeing changes, day by day, hour by hour, it seems. But obviously, data sharing, consolidation, I think we're going to see more and more of that continue. And I think, again, as we see the MLS is actively involved now in pushing these standards or these new standards, mm-hmm. I think it will become even easier to come on board with neighboring associations, with neighboring areas, and I think the standards will help, again, progress this consolidation, progress data sharing where, it makes sense. I think in 2 to 3 years, we're going to see some of the, long-term goals of some of the models out there, such as MOVE and RPR that's going on right now. We'll be able to see kind of what their longer-term goals are and what their ultimate goal is to become. So I think too, once we get these standards or better standards in place, too, is you're going to see a lot more of the MLS systems begin to evolve into more customized front ends. Mm-hmm. Things like app stores or things where you can plug in things a lot more easier into your MLS system. So, at some point, as these standards take effect and this app store or these plug-in widgets where you can do that, you're going to see much different. You're not going to see such a standardized front end. You're going to see more possibly broker customization or things that the agent wants to see on their front, and rather than the same MLS front end that you log into. And again, I think that gets better and better as the standards become quote unquote standard. So.
Yeah, that's a really interesting model. You see Apple with its innovation. You see what the Google Android phones are doing, and everybody's moving in a world of customization on the front end with the app stores. I think that there's a huge opportunity there, and I'm glad to hear you speaking of it as well. Anything else that you see substantially different in a couple of years?
Well, obviously, the evolution of as I mentioned, the evolution of MLS systems and that, but that's going to be a big part of it. And also as these ancillary services are evolving, we're going to see some of these bigger ones that are taking hold too. We're going to see a much better or a much bigger role in some of these third-party softwares that are playing the roles of what you can do a lot of in the MLS systems today. And I think you'll see more and more of these third parties take a stronger role in usage among the agents, among the participants, and it'll be interesting to see where that progresses as well.
Good.